Would you support any sort of ethical training for staff members upon being hired at either an agency like yours or a corporation?
I think it should be part of the indoctrination program for any employee, and also any follow-up supplementary training that employees have. I think that I would go to the having every year perhaps a reminder this is the kind of company we are. I don't think that you can overdo telling your employees that we do business with honor. We respect the law. We respect the norms of society. No, I fully believe that, and I think the good companies do that.
The last section of questions I would like to transition to will be dealing primarily with education and what you feel the next generation of workers can do in order to become successful public relations executives. Are younger workers today fully prepared for a successful career in public relations? Do you feel that they are getting appropriate education and work experience, for example, internships, for the younger workers entering the marketplace today? Are they prepared?
I think it's very difficult to generalize. I think some are and some are not. And I think it depends on the teaching quality, the advice that these young people have had, the good luck or fortune that some of them have been exposed to getting good internships. The majority, of course, have not. I find that you get some very, very bright people coming into the business, very, very well prepared, and you get a lot of people who just do not have some of the basic skills. And the one basic skill that's lacking in most of the younger people coming into the business today is that their writing ability is not nearly as good as it was some years ago. And I think that is a major deficiency. The I think that most of the people who come into public relations, really start getting their real training after they get on the job. And I think those of us who are in agencies or are running public relations departments have got to realize that as we take on new people, training them and development of those people is a major part of our responsibility if we want them to be good, capable employees. It's very difficult for me to really tell you what I think is the ideal training for a public relations person. All of us have a tendency, particularly those of us who have achieved some degree of success, to look at how we got where we were and say, that's the way you've got to do it. I belong to the school, as does some of those my age who have had successful careers, my generation. We started mostly on newspapers or with press associations, and were reporters and writers for 2, 3, 4, 5 years before we went into the business. I still think that newspaper experience or journalism experience. Doesn't necessarily have to be newspapers. But I would say if I had my choice, I would prefer hiring some person who had been on a small town newspaper for a couple of years or worked with the Press Association. Because those are people who really have to write it themselves. They don't get a lot of rewriting. And when you see their byline, you know it's their story. On the other hand, you know, we have a need for so many specialists today that we look for people who've had experience working in the government, working in politics. We have look for people who have experience who with MBAs, who know business, particularly in the finance area. We look for people who, in consumer publicity, if you work on food accounts, if they've had food experience, nutritional experience particularly, is getting more and more important today as we start looking at every ingredient in a product. So there is no real, I think, you know, roadmap. You have to create your set of skills and based on, you know, what you feel you want to do with your life, what field you want to work in, and get experience in that particular area, whether it be a government or science or business. I think the time may come within the next decade that that agencies like Burson Marsteller will be looking for people who have the equivalent of an MBA degree before we hire them. I think these integrated programs at some schools, Northwestern particularly, is an example where they have interdisciplinary programs where you study public relations in addition to science. You study public relations in addition to health care, or in addition to political science, politics, or business. I think those programs are probably will increase in number.